You've been waiting all day for Sunday night, but it's a Monday and that song f***ing sucks, but we still have some Sunday night action for you as the Falcons look to turn things around after back-to-back losses have them at 2-4, and they hope that turnaround starts tonight with a win over the 4-2 Cowboys. Opening drive, 3rd and 3 for Atlanta, where Matt Ryan fires quick to Ito Smith, who makes the catch and has 19 yards into Cowboys territory, but following the first down catch, he remains down. He would head to the locker room and would not return, so the Falcons down Devontae Freeman and now Ito Smith. Then 3 plays later, 3rd and short again, and Ryan stands in, but DeMarcus Lawrence with immediate pressure to drop him for the sack. Rolling forward is sent out for the long field goal, and he puts the career-long 54-yarder through the uprights to give Atlanta a 3-0 lead. Falcons get it back, and on their first play, Ryan goes quick to Julio Jones on the slant for a 17-yard gain to start the drive. 5 plays later, Falcons just across midfield, and on 3rd and 6, Ryan goes quick to Jones again, who turns but can't get quite past the marker. And on 4th down, the offense stays on the field where Jordan Buggs gets the carry and exterminates the 4th down situation with a 3-yard gain. After another 1st down, Ryan with the fake wants Julio Jones, where Xavier Woods, Byron Jones, and Jordan Lewis y'all got mossed, and the insane 26-yard catch gives Atlanta 1st and goal. And 2 plays later, it's the fake to Jordan Buggs, toss to Brian Hill, who's going to bulldoze his way through 2 Cowboys defenders and into the end zone for a 1-yard score and a 10-0 Falcons lead. Cowboys look to answer, and on their first play, it's Dak Prescott throwing and Michael Gallup making the 12-yard catch to start the drive. 2 plays later, Prescott throwing again and wants Amari Cooper. Deuce Douglas overruns the play while Ricardo Allen takes himself out of it, and Cooper picks up 40 yards well into Atlanta territory. Then on 3rd and 6 from the 18, Prescott throwing again and goes to Tyler Higbee in the flats, who will be wrapped up and brought down shy of the 1st down marker. Kaimi Fairbairn comes on, and his 31-yard field goal is between the uprights and into the net as Dallas gets on the board and makes it 10-3. Second quarter now, 3rd down, and the Falcons convert as Ryan hits Julio Jones for 8 yards on 3rd and 4. 2 plays later, Ryan drops to throw, moves to his left, and dumps to Brian Hill, who puts a move on Will Parks and has 10 yards into Cowboys territory to move the chains again. 2 plays later again, and Ryan goes quick to Calvin Ridley, who has 11 more yards and another Falcons 1st down. Then on the next play, Ryan looks to throw again and rolls to his right, where he eventually fires on the run to a wide-open Ridley for 25 yards to the Cowboys 11. And 2 plays later, Ryan throwing wants the end zone and fits his pass into Mohamed Sanu in between 4 Cowboys defenders, and the 12-yard score puts 7 more on the board and gives Atlanta a 17-3 lead. First play of the ensuing drive, and Prescott fakes the give but can't fake getting a face full of turf as Maurice Ramsey buries him for the sack and a loss of 8 yards to start the drive. Then on 3rd and 13, Prescott throwing again and behind good protection this time, and he's going to hit Ezekiel Elliott, who has the 1st down, then sheds Desmond Trufant and is off to the races. Isaiah Oliver eventually tracks him down after a 63-yard gain, and 3 plays later, the drive is capped off by Prescott finding a wide-open Amari Cooper for the 2-yard score, and the Cowboys answer back to make it 17-10. Just before half now, and after a Falcons field goal makes it 20-10, Prescott fakes to Elliott and squeezes a pass into Amari Cooper for 13 yards and a 1st down. Fast forward a minute later, and the Cowboys enter Atlanta territory as Prescott finds Michael Gallup over the middle for 17 more. Then with just under a minute, Prescott fakes to Elliott and goes deep for Amari Cooper. Isaiah Oliver is there, but the ball somehow finds its way into Cooper's hands, and the 35-yard score is going to cut it to 20-17 as we head into the break. Cowboys get it to start the 3rd, and on their first play, Prescott wants to go deep again. Deuce Douglas is there and presses wide, but nothing happens, and Cedric Wilson has a 59-yard catch down to the Atlanta 15. And 3 plays later, Prescott throwing and goes out to Tyler Higbee in the flat, and Keanu Neal is there to stop him shy of the marker. So out comes Kaimi Fairbairn, and for the 2nd time tonight, his kick is up and good, and we're all tied up at 20. Later in the 3rd, still tied up at 20, and on 3rd and 13, the Cowboys convert as Prescott moves to his right and hits a crossing Michael Gallup over the middle for 23 yards into Atlanta territory. 2 plays later, and the chains move again as Prescott continues to deal, finding Amari Cooper for 11 yards. Then on the next play, Prescott with the fake and rolling to his right, 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 and rolling before finally finding Dalton Schultz for a 25-yard gain down inside the Falcons 5. And on the first play of the 4th quarter, Prescott moves to his left, stands in until pressure gets too close, then moves to his right and throws to Amari Cooper, who has the catch but doesn't have the score. And from the 1-yard line, the Cowboys settle for the 18-yard Kaimi Fairbairn field goal and take a 23-20 lead. Falcons near midfield and facing 3rd and inches, the exterminator is able to get just enough to keep the drive alive. Then on the next play, it's Ryan throwing, drifting to his left and finding a wide open Austin Hooper, who weaves his way down inside the Dallas 30 for a 24-yard gain. Next play, Ryan throwing again, can't pull the trigger, and it's DeMarcus Lawrence in the backfield to drop him for his 3rd sack of the night. And on 3rd and 17 from the 36, Ryan goes short to Julio Jones, who only gets about 2 yards, setting up a 51-yard field goal attempt, and Roland Ford absolutely buries it into the net, and with 9:05 to go, we're tied at 23. Ensuing drive, 3rd and 11, and the Falcons blitz, but coverage doesn't hold up as Isaiah Oliver is torched by Amari Cooper for a 37-yard catch. Then on the following play, Prescott with the fake, looking to throw, and he's got a wide open Tyler Higbee for 20 more as the big tight end rolls into the red zone. Then on 3rd and 6 from the 15, the Cowboys seemingly settle for the field goal, giving to Elliott, who picks up absolutely nothing. Kaimi Fairbairn comes on and puts through the 32-yard field goal that gives Dallas the lead, but leaves the door open for an Atlanta game-winning drive. And on their first play, Ryan looking to throw, but everybody is covered, and Timmy Jernigan takes him down for the sack and a loss of 7. Next play, and the Falcons are going to get all of it back as Ryan hits Marcus Green out of the backfield for a 19-yard gain and first down just shy of the 40. 2 plays later, 2nd and 4, Ryan throwing again and wants Austin Hooper on the crosser, but sails the pass over his head, incomplete. That makes it 3rd and 4, where Ryan again looks to throw, and his pass once again sails high off the mark, bringing up 4th down. Offense stays on the field where Ryan looks to throw, stands in and finds Julio Jones for 8 yards to keep the Falcons drive alive. 2 plays later, out of the 2-minute warning, and it's going to be Timmy Jernigan again taking Ryan to the stadium turf for a loss of 8. And on 3rd and 15, Ryan throwing, and Julio Jones is wide open over the middle. He gets right to the marker and has the first down, so move those chains. Then on the next play, Ryan throwing again, just gets his pass away, and Jones makes the catch, but it's Byron, not Julio, and the Cowboys will take over with a minute to go, and the Falcons, with only 2 timeouts, are gonna need a miracle now. Falcons get it back, and with 10 seconds left from their own 33, Ryan wants Julio again, but his pass is once again intercepted by Byron Jones, and the Falcons let yet another close game slip away as they were on the edge of field goal range with a chance to take the lead and throw a devastating interception. Atlanta holds Ezekiel Elliott to 19 yards on 19 carries, but gives up 421 yards and a number of big plays through the air. The Falcons fall to 2-5 on the year and will have to immediately turn things around if they want any chance at a return to the postseason. Well, we did it again, jumped out to an early 10-0 lead, and we're in control for a good portion of the game, only to let it slip away, this time by getting too greedy and testing an X factor when I was on the edge of field goal range. Last season, these games were going my way, and it was the other side of the coin where I was the one scoring late or rallying back to get wins, and so far this season, I've just had some real trouble closing out games, and it's resulted in now a 2-5 record. But moving into the second half of the video, we'll start with Ito Smith's breakout scenario, which was obviously failed with him being injured on the opening drive. So sorry, Ito Smith, but you get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir. Moving on to some scouting, we start with a draft tweet from Todd McShay that refers to Boston College defensive tackle Jerome Hightower and reads, "Hightower is the leader of the Boston College D-line, and his play to win that game seals his status as an all-time fan favorite." So moving to the draft board, we start with Hightower at the top, who is a 3rd-round projection but a 2nd-round true talent. Then below him, we have 3 offensive linemen who are all 4th-round projections, but left guard Dwayne Humphreys is a 1st-round true talent, center Marcus Noble is a 4th-round true talent, and another left guard, Zach Springs, is a 3rd-round true talent. We had 2 negotiations this week, starting with free safety DeMonte Casey, who we signed to a 2-year, $7 million contract with just under $3 million guaranteed, and I felt like this was a pretty good value for a 79 overall safety with some nice skills. Ricardo Allen will continue to be the starter, but Casey could fill in when needed and eventually even take over for Allen down the road. Then our other negotiation was with Adrian Claiborne, who I withdrew negotiations with. He led our team in sacks last season and does have a couple this year as well, but he's regressing heavily and will probably be in the 60s by the end of the year, so this is really a no-brainer. Then wrapping up the team activities with player upgrades, we start with our rookie quarterback, Ray Gilbert, who is now a 73 overall with 1 point increases to his awareness, deep throw accuracy, mid-throw accuracy, and throw-on-run ratings. Next up was our 1st-round rookie, Lorenzo McManus, who moves to a 71 overall as we use his skill point on his power power rusher archetype, and that results in a 2-point increase to his power moves and a 1-point increase to his tackle. And then lastly is linebacker Jermaine Grace, who receives upgrades to 4 different attributes, which includes +2 to his awareness and +1 to his block, shed, play rec, and tackle. Time to go around the league, and week 7 started with the Texans hammering the Lions on Thursday night. Bears sneak by the Packers in Lambeau, and the Bengals beat the Steelers by 21. Titans and Redskins both win by a field goal over the Browns and Bills. Eagles put 42 on the Rams. Saints win by 3 over the Panthers, and the Chiefs win in overtime over the Ravens. Giants win by a touchdown over the Vikings, while the 49ers win by 3 touchdowns over the Cardinals. Raiders finally get a win over the winless Dolphins, and the Chargers hammer the Broncos 35-7. Then wrapping up week 7 on Monday night was the Patriots beating the Colts 28-21 in Indy. A quick look at the standings sees the Jets at 6-0, leading the East by 2 games over the Bills. Bengals are 7-0 with a 3-game lead over the Browns in the North. Texans and Titans both win to move to 4-3 and a tie of first place in the South. Then out west, the Chargers are also 4-3 and lead the West by a half game over the Chiefs. On the NFC side, the Cowboys are 5-2 and hold a game lead over the Redskins in the East. Bears are the NFC's only remaining undefeated team and lead by 2 games over the Packers in the North. Bucks are 5-1 and lead by a game and a half over the Saints as we trail by 2.5 games. Then out west, the 49ers are leading the West as the only team over 500 in that division. The AFC Offensive Player of Week 7 is Texans quarterback Deshaun Watson. The former Clemson star was 20 of 25 passing for 219 yards and threw for 3 touchdowns, which was good for a 142.7 passer rating and a 38-15 win on Thursday night over Detroit. As for the NFC, it was fellow quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo of the 49ers winning the award. Garoppolo was 29 of 42 passing for 325 yards and a quintet of touchdowns as the 49ers handed it to the Cardinals, doubling them up in a 42-21 beatdown in Arizona. Defensively for the AFC, it was free agent signing Myles Jack of the Ravens taking home the award. The former Jaguar linebacker was in on 10 tackles with 1 going for a loss and also had 2 sacks in a game that went to overtime and saw his Ravens losing 27-21 to the Chiefs. Then on the NFC side, it was Byron Jones of the Cowboys taking home the award. The 2015 27th overall pick out of UConn was in on 13 tackles, and you all watched him pick me off twice in the final minute of our game to help his Cowboys pull off a 26-23 win over us on Monday night. Moving on to the leaders, Jacoby Brissett continues to lead the way in passing yards with 1,973. Baker Mayfield adds 2 more touchdowns through the air and continues to lead in passing scores with 22. And then after a week away, Mitchell Trubisky returns as the passer rating leader with a 130.5 mark. The rushing leaders once again remain the same, as despite being held to just 19 yards on 19 carries, Ezekiel Elliott maintains his rushing yards lead with 679. Saquon Barkley adds another score on the ground and now leads with 9. And then Todd Gurley and his 6.3 yards per carry average continue to lead the way there. The receiving leaders change up a little bit as tight end Zach Ertz and his 43 receptions have taken the top spot from Traquan Smith. Julio Jones continues to lead in receiving yards now with 620. And then Taylor Gabriel, who's led a good portion of the year in both receptions and yards, now leads in receiving touchdowns with 7 on the year. And then wrapping up with the defensive leaders, Deion Jones looks well on his way to another tackle title as he leads the league with 85. Von Miller continues to lead in sacks with his record pace of 13.5 through 7 games. Then continuing to sit atop the interceptions leaders is Saints cornerback Marshawn Lattimore with 4. Next week's schedule starts off with the undefeated Bengals hosting the 3-4 Broncos on Thursday night. Moving to Sunday, it's Cowboys, Ravens, Packers, Vikings, and Eagles, Redskins. Raiders head to Kansas City while the Giants face 0-7 Pittsburgh. We head to Detroit with our season on the brink at 2-5 and will face the 1-5 Lions. Jaguars at Colts, and the 49ers host the Rams in divisional action. Bills at Cardinals while the 6-0 Jets host the 0-6 Dolphins. Then on Sunday night, it's a matchup between a pair of 3-3 teams as Russell Wilson and the Seahawks host Tom Brady and the Patriots. And on Monday night, it's a huge NFC game as the 6-0 Bears head to Tampa Bay to face the 5-1 Buccaneers. Panthers, Browns, Texans, Chargers, Saints, and Titans all have the week off. But that's going to do it for week 7, guys. We're nearing the halfway point, and next video is going to cover not only the Lions game, but also our bye week, so the post game will be a bit longer than usual. But sitting at 2-5 is definitely not where we want to be, and with the struggles with interceptions recently, I thought a lot about making a change at quarterback, and starting our next game against the Lions is going to be